Does passion matter? A lot of people are focused on following their passions and doing what they are passionate about. This is a wonderful thought. What's the old saying? Do something you love, never work a day in your life. But is this true? A lot of people talk about trying to turn the things they love into work. And next thing you know, they've kind of ruined the thing they love. And now it's just work. So, are we not supposed to follow our passions then? I'm probably going to talk in circular logic for a moment, but let's talk about two iconic books to kind of start off. We have Grit by Angela Duckworth and Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm going to use these books to kind of highlight how someone could develop a passion if they wanted to. Grit discusses how someone can develop interest. The general idea is that you first need to explore as much as possible. This will potentially pique your interest. Then, you need to deliberately practice that activity, which interests you, with positive feedback. So the positive feedback is going to reinforce that interest that you have initially. Next, you need continued deliberate practice with constructive feedback. This is probably the hard part because it's not comfortable and might not be fun, quote unquote. You need stretch goals that push you past your comfort. You need quizzes, you need hard feedback, you need to recognize your patterns through reflection. What do I need to continue to work on? What's going to make me better? Then this gets us to Atomic Habits. You see, James Clear talks about two main concepts. The first is that you need to establish an identity, something that is a higher concept of what you are and what you do. For example, saying something like, I'm an athlete, instead of, oh, I work out every day. When you have an identity, then you're going to feel more compelled to accomplish whatever the tasks are associated with that identity. There's a book entitled 3 Alarms. This tries to expand on this concept even more. The idea here is having you set alarms for specific times during the day to remind you of what identity of your life you're going to be performing for that next few moments, hours, whatever the case is. So having a 6 a.m. alarm that says it's athlete time, or having a 10 a.m. alarm that says it's professional physical therapy time, and then maybe having a 5 p.m. alarm that says it's family time. This is going to help you potentially get into that mindset of what identity am I supposed to be focusing on. The second idea that James discusses is that having a process is more important than goals. This brings us back to Grit. And the next step, after you've practiced, and that is to develop a purpose. The way that's going to happen is if you feel that your work or the interest you're trying to sustain actually matters. It will only matter if it's tied to your identity and has potentially a larger social context. These are the steps potentially for developing passion, but do we need passion? There are a lot of people that don't even think that passion or motivation are things you need to focus on. The motivation myth, for instance, stresses that motivation is just an emotion, and we shouldn't let our emotions determine if we are going to actually do work. Below is a potential activity you can work on now. This should be quick. This shouldn't be work. This should be more of revelation, reflection. What are the things that you currently feel that you have passions for? What are the things that you would like to have as your identity? List out some of the processes that you currently have around how you get things done, how you work. The idea here is not to say, oh, this is my perfect process, this is exactly what I'm doing. It's more to think and reflect and say, do I have a process? Do I have an identity? Is there anything I'm passionate about? Because if you can't write things down, that's fine. You shouldn't feel compelled or pushed to write things down. It's more, okay, these are areas that I might have some blank spots in. Good, because that's what this course is going to hopefully start to get more into.